Cash is back in the CS2 map pool, and a lot of CS2 bettors are about to make the same mistake. They will look at a new map and think everything becomes random. But I think that is the wrong way to look at it, because cash will create uncertainty. Yes, but it does not erase team strength. The real question is not just which team is good on cash. The real question is, how much should cash actually move the betting probability? Because in most matchups, maps move the number less than people think. If Falcons are around 62% against Furia on Mirage, they probably do not suddenly become 45% just because the map changes to cash. A new map matters, but player skill, team structure, coaching, and long-term baseline still carry over. That is the first thing people need to understand. My model does not become useless because cash enters the pool. Player skill, team baseline, and overall map pool strength still carry over. What changes is the confidence level around one specific map. And yes, that matters. There is less clean data, less pro sample, and less certainty. But here is the part most people miss. The betting market has the same problem. Nobody has clean current pro data on CS2 cash yet, so my model has less cash-specific information, but so does the market. And when the market has less information, prices can become softer. This is where opportunity can appear, but it is also where people can make terrible mistakes. The first mistake is using old CSGO cash statistics. I do not want to use old cash stats almost at all. The teams are not the same anymore, the players are different, the IGLs are different, the coaches are different, the meta is different, and CS2 itself is a different game. Old cash experience can be a small prior. Maybe some older players, IGLs, or coaches have better ideas immediately, but old cash statistics are not real betting data for 2026 CS2. If you are using old CSGO cash win rates or player ratings to price current CS2 teams, you are betting nostalgia, not the current market. The better starting point is team baseline. Winning CS2 betting is mostly about understanding the real strength of each team. Not just the last result, not just head-to-head, and not just one map win rate. The baseline is built from the team's overall level across the active map pool, player quality, recent round performance, opponent strength, and how strong their structure looks over time. That baseline does not disappear because cash enters the pool. If a team has better players, better structure, and better long-term performance, they are still probably the stronger team on cash too. Not always, but as a starting point, that is much better than pretending the map makes everything random. We already got a small example in XSE Pro League. Tyloo beat Eyeballers 13-6 on Nuke, and then they beat them 13-7 on Cash, even though Cash was Eyeballers' pick. That does not prove everything, because it is only one match. But it shows the basic idea. If one team is simply stronger, a new map does not magically erase that gap. Cash can move the number, but it does not delete the gap between a stronger team and a weaker team. This is why I think people will overreact in both directions. Some will act like cash changes nothing. Others will act like cash makes every match a coin flip. The truth is, probably somewhere in the middle. Now, there is one area where I do think cash helps underdogs early. If I am an underdog, I want cash in the veto. Not because I have mastered cash, but because the favorite has not mastered it either. A new map reduces established structure, reduces anti-stratting, reduces map-specific comfort, and can create more chaos. And chaos usually helps the weaker team more than the favorite. That does not mean underdogs suddenly become favorites on cash. It just means some matchups can move slightly closer to 50-50, especially in the first weeks, before teams have built real protocols, utility packages, mid-round answers, and strong defensive setups. This is why early cash maps are going to be dangerous to judge. Someone will win cash 13-5 or 13-6, and people will instantly say they are a great cash team. Maybe they are. Or maybe they won both pistols, broke the economy once, won 2 clutches, and the scoreline looked much better than the actual performance. That is why the first cash scorelines will probably lie. I care more about XR, expected rounds. Did the team actually create repeatable rounds? Did they win clean gun rounds? Did they create opening advantages and convert 5 versus 4s? Or did they just win pistols, clutches, and economy swings? A 13-7 scoreline on cash can mean dominance, but it can also mean pistol inflation, clutch inflation, and 1 economy break. The score alone is not enough. That is one of the biggest differences between casual betting and model-based betting. Casual bettors price the result. I want to price the performance behind the result. Another important point is that cash entering the pool is only half of the story. Overpass leaving might matter even more for some teams. The biggest short-term winners are not necessarily the teams that are instantly amazing on cash. They might simply be the teams that hated Overpass. For example, Falcons and Navi have used Overpass as a permaban. So if Overpass leaves and cash comes in, that can immediately help their map pool flexibility. They are no longer forced to spend their veto structure around avoiding Overpass. On the other side, teams like Furia, G2, or Gamer Legion could lose some value if Overpass was one of their most comfortable or most played maps. That is the part many people miss. Cash entering matters, but the map that leaves also matters. If a team loses one of its strongest maps, that can hurt more than people expect. And if a team gets rid of its worst map, that can help immediately, even before we know exactly how good they are on cash. So the real betting question is not only who is good on cash, it is also who gains from Overpass leaving, who loses a comfort map, who gets rid of a permaban problem, and who now has more flexibility in the veto. That is where the edge can appear. One more thing I will be watching closely is AVP impact. Cash has historically been a comfortable map for strong AVPers because there are clear long-range fights, mid-control matters, and the AVP can create a lot of pressure if the team gives it structure. So teams with elite AVPers may have an easier time translating individual skill onto cash early. But again, this is not something I would overrate. A good AVPR helps, but the team still needs structure, spacing, utility, and good decision making. The map can make certain strengths easier to show, but it does not replace overall team quality. So what is my final view? Cash will make CS2 betting more uncertain in the short term, and that uncertainty can make the market softer. But cash will not make the game completely random. Team baseline still matters most. Old CSGO cash stats are mostly bait. First cash scorelines will be noisy. Underdogs may get a small early boost because the map creates chaos. Overpass leaving will help some teams and hurt others. And the best way to judge early cash performance is not the final score. It is round quality. Did the team create repeatable advantages? Did they win real gun rounds? Did they show structure? Or did they just win the high variance moments? That is what I will be tracking, because the market will react to the first results very quickly. If a team wins cash 13-5, the market may upgrade them immediately. If a team loses cash badly, the market may downgrade them immediately. But the real edge is not in reacting first. The edge is in reacting correctly. So cash is not just a new map. It is a new source of market uncertainty. And in CS2 betting, uncertainty is where bad prices are created. If you want my CS2 probability picks, market notes, and betting analysis, join the DataStrike Discord. Free probability drops are available, and VIP gets the full board with value spots, model probabilities, odds, EV info, and match analytics. No hype, no forced picks, just probability versus price.